Welcome back to all of you who have come back from previous episodes, and for those of you who are new, welcome. It's so good to have you. Just making sure that things are working great on YouTube, that this stream is going through well. If you are here from... Sorry, hold on one second. Okay. There's just so many things to check on here. Oops. Yeah, so if any time during this stream you see me looking around, it's because I have lots of different screens I am looking at right now and checking, keeping updated. Yes, so for those of you who are new, what Reverent Readings is, it's a nightly or every weeknight I read a devotional from this book called Horse Tales from Heaven by Rebecca Ondav, and I do it live stream so that after I am done reading, I can talk with anybody that's out there watching that would like to talk with me. So yes, please, if you see that the reading is done, don't leave. Stay here so that we can talk and so that we can discuss this. Yeah, if you are here from Facebook, you have probably already seen my Facebook page, but if not, I am on Facebook. You can find my page at Facebook, The Well-Rounded Girl. That is the name of my Facebook page. So yeah, this series is sponsored by Amazon Prime. Show your support for this channel by clicking on the link in the description to get a free 30-day trial of Amazon Prime, and with that you get free Prime shipping on all, free 2-day shipping on all Prime items. You get unlimited access to the Amazon movies, music, and books, and so many other benefits. Please check it out. The link is in the description, and that isn't just any link. That's a special link so that when you click on it, you're giving that, so that when you click through that link to sign up, you're giving back to this channel, which is what makes it possible for me to do this. Besides the fact that I love doing it. Yeah, so thank you all for joining me here tonight, and we're going to go ahead and get started on the reading. Again, it's from this book called Horse Tales from Heaven by Rebecca Ondav. And tonight's devotional is called Hoof for Hoof. And the Bible verse is, "Watch your step, and the road will stretch out smooth before you. Look neither right nor left. Leave evil in the dust." Proverbs 4:26-27. The ravens floated across the sky. I squinted and watched them lazily soaring over the ridge. Sweat dripped down my back from the hot August sun. It was the first day of a 5-day summer pack trip. In front of me, the long line of horses trudged single file through pine corridors. Dust boiled up from the trail with each horse's step. Sweat glistened from my bay gelding's neck. I stroked Czar's shoulder. "It's already a scorcher, and it's not even 11 o'clock, I commented. The heat had driven the songbirds and squirrels into their shady nests, leaving the forest quiet. Quiet. Except for the sound of horses' hooves hitting the trail, and Brad's chattering. Brad, a sandy brown-haired 9-year-old, had once again returned with his family. He adored me, and the feeling was mutual. Brad rode directly in front of me. His saddle creaked as he wiggled and turned around. "Did I tell you what happened?" As Brad turned, he accidentally squeezed his legs together and pulled on the reins. Seagram, the brown mule he was riding, followed his cues and turned into the forest. I waved toward the left. "Brad, watch where you're going!" Brad straightened himself in the saddle and reined Seagram back to the trail. He turned around again, and once again he pushed with his legs and pulled the reins. Seagram dove into the trees. I shook my head. Brad, get her on the trail. If she winds through the woods, she might squish your leg against a tree. That would hurt. Brad shrugged his shoulders and reined her back onto the trail. The next couple miles he squirmed and fidgeted. Seagram walked like a drunk, weaving back and forth as Brad kept pulling the reins. The trail climbed uphill and then traversed across a hillside. Narrowing to only 5 feet wide on the left side of the trail, the hill dropped down a steep grassy slope into a gully. The right side climbed straight up the mountain. Seagram walked down the center of the trail, with Brad humming and bouncing to his own tune. Suddenly the boy spotted something on the slope. I cringed as he leaned off the right side of the saddle, reaching for something. His movement pushed Seagram toward the drop-off. She scaled the edge of the trail. Stones clattered down the slope. I opened my mouth to yell at him just as Seagram's hind foot plunged off the trail. Stumbling forward, she caught her balance. I rubbed my forehead and growled, Brad, sit up in your saddle. You just about pushed your mule off the trail. Brad straightened up and Seagram drifted back to the center. But in a couple steps, Brad draped his left arm over Seagram's neck and reached toward the slope. He plucked something and popped it into his mouth. I looked at the bushes. The huckleberries are ripe. Huckleberries are similar to blueberries. Because they were growing on the uphill slope, Brad could pick them from Seagram's back. I chewed on my lip. Brad, what did I just tell you? But no buts. You could get hurt doing that. Taking a deep breath, I continued. I'll tell you what. I'll help you pick huckleberries when we stop for lunch. Now sit straight in your saddle. You need to make Seagram follow the horse in front of her, hoof for hoof. Brad's shoulders slumped and his head bobbed with each of Seagram's steps. Seagram seemed relieved as he ambled down the trail, her long brown ears flopping gently. Then Brad wormed around once again. I threw my arms up the air and said, Brad! He straightened back up again, and again, and again. That night in camp, Brad shadowed me everywhere. After he helped me gather moss and sticks to start the fire, I ruffled his hair. Brad, the only reason I scold you is because I've gotten hurt doing those same things, and I don't want you to get hurt. Do you understand? Brad blinked his blue-green eyes and nodded. But the next 5 days, Seagram wandered to and fro between trees and past huckleberry bushes, with me shaking my finger and scolding her rider the whole way. On the last morning of the trip, we mounted up. I reined Czar into the lead. Brad fell in behind me, followed by the rest of the guests. The sun peeked from behind a mountain, casting golden rays like a crown. The animals ambled cross-country through scattered pines and a large meadow with knee-high grass that swayed in the cool breeze. Gradually, the distance between each horse and mule spanned a few hundred yards. When I came to the trail, I reined Czar onto the dirt. When I came to the trail, I reined Czar onto the dirt and listened for Seagram's hooves. But all I heard were her feet swishing through the grass. I turned and glanced at Brad, who leaned forward like a race car driver. With his reins gathered, he was weaving Seagram through the pines like they were flags on an obstacle course. I rolled my eyes. Brad, get over here, remember? Hoof for hoof. Brad kicked Seagram. They trotted onto the trail behind me. I relaxed in the saddle and watched the chickadees flit from pinecone to pinecone, pulling out the seeds and eating them. A couple minutes later there was silence. I turned. Brad was weaving Seagram through the pines again. I frowned and pointed behind me. Kicking Seagram, they trotted into place. As the sun rose, it cast shadows across the forest floor. Once again there was silence, and then the quick of patter of Seagram's hooves as they trotted up behind me. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream shattered the morning. Who could that be? Brad's right behind me. I turned and looked back. Seagram was rambling down the trail, but without Brad. He wasn't in the saddle. I scanned the trail behind us. Nothing. The other guests were so far behind us I couldn't see them. I spun Czar around. My eyes shifted back and forth, scanning the ground. Nothing. Brad screamed again. I nudged Czar forward, trying to locate him. The sound came from far off the trail. I blinked and looked up. Brad was hanging upside down in a tree. What on earth? I kicked Czar and galloped to the tree. Brad thrashed and screamed, his face bright red from being upside down. I vaulted off and bounded toward him. Squinting up, I noticed he was hanging from his boot. It was stuck on something. A spike nail hung out of the tree, and his bootlace was looped over the nail. He shrieked uncomfortably, his head hanging a couple feet off the ground. I wrapped my arms around his chest and yelled at him, "Brad, grab onto me!" Sobbing, he wrapped his arms around my waist. I lifted him up and shook his leg to get the lace off the nail. Gently turning him upright, I cradled him in my arms. Leaning against a tree, I slid to the ground. Brad grabbed me around the neck and sobbed. I looked at the nail and giggled. It's probably the only spike nail sticking out of a tree in 50 miles. Brad had wandered off the trail again, and as he was riding, he was swinging his legs. He managed to kick the tree and bury the nail under the lace of his boot. The nail pinned his foot to the tree while Seagram kept walking. I'm sure he wiggled and fidgeted trying to get free, just like he'd been doing all week, so Seagram didn't think anything of his movements. The nail didn't let go, so Brad was pulled out of the saddle. Holding him tightly, I said, "If you had been following behind me like I told you, that nail wouldn't have jumped out and grabbed you." Brad buried his head into my chest. I ruffled his hair. "Now do you know why I wanted you to follow me hoof for hoof?" Brad sobbed and sobbed. I pulled out my red bandana and wiped the tears from his cheek, just as his family came up to see what had happened. They said they'd heard him scream. I smiled at them. "He'll be fine. He's just learning a little wisdom." His dad scolded him. "Brad, Rebecca's been telling you all week to follow her. I hope you're going to listen now." Brad sniffed and nodded. I hugged Brad and whispered, "A long time ago, a friend told me that the definition of wisdom is learning from experience, and it's less painful if it's not your own." Lord, thank you for reminding me to listen to other people's experiences so that I can acquire wisdom the easy way, by learning from their mistakes. Amen. I hope you guys enjoyed that reading. As always, please share with me your thoughts in the chat section on the right-hand side of your screen. I get those chats immediately. There is a little bit of a lag time, so if you see me, just kind of wait, and it's because you're hearing this about 30 seconds after I've already said it. So, but yeah, please chat with me. I would love to know what your guys' thoughts are on the reading tonight. It was a pretty straightforward one tonight. Just, listen to what other people have to say because they have wisdom, especially if you're like a kid and you're listening to your teacher or your parents or your grandparents or someone older than you. A lot of times they're wiser. Most of the time they're wiser. They've had more experience. And like Rebecca said here, the definition of wisdom is learning from experience, and it's easier if it's not your own, because sometimes that experience can be painful or it could hurt. So yeah, listen to what other people have to say, because sometimes they've experienced something that would make you wiser and in whatever you're doing. So yeah, guys, chat with me. You can chat with me here on the chat. Please don't wait until like it's the end of the video to chat, because sometimes I don't always get it. Because like I said, there is a little bit of a lag time. So last call for any chats that you guys want to send. Please, sorry, my mouth just got ahead of my brain. Please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any videos that I post. I do other videos besides this series. So yeah, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss when I upload those. Also, check out my blog. The link is in the description. Like this video, please give it a thumbs up and support me and what I'm doing here. Share this with all your friends. Seriously, I would love to get more people watching this. I know there are a dedicated few who watch each night, and you don't know how much it means to me that you want to come here and spend part of your night with me. And if you just want to tell me your name, because I don't know who's watching right now, and if you just want to tell me on Facebook or here in the chat section, hey, I was watching tonight, that would be great, so that I can acknowledge you guys who are watching. But if I don't know who you are, all I can do is say thank you to you for watching right now. But yeah, let me know who you are watching so that I can give the credit where credit is due, because you guys support me each night. If you're not watching this live, use the comment section to let me know what you think about this series, what you thought about tonight's reading. Let me know that you watched. And this series is sponsored by Amazon Prime. There is a special link in the description. Check out Amazon Prime. When you go through that link and you sign up, you get a free 30-day trial of Amazon Prime, which basically means that you get free 2-day shipping on all Prime items, which is a ton of items. You get unlimited access to the Prime movies, music, and books, and there are just so many other benefits, and it's free. Who could love anything better than free stuff? I mean, free 30-day trial. There's nothing to lose. If you love it, great. If you don't, you just cancel your trial. That's it. But by clicking on the link in the description and signing up through that link, you're showing your support for this channel and this series specifically. So please click on the link and sign up today. That would be great for me, great for you, great all the way around. Everybody wins. And like I said, please share this with your friends. The only way that people will know to watch it is if you tell them. So please tell them. You can use the link in your HTML, I can't even think of the word now, your web address bar. You can just copy that link. It's the same link each night, and you can use that link. Send it to all your friends on Facebook, email, text message. Tell them. Write down the link if you want to. But please tell them, because that's the only way people are going to know to watch, and that it will get spread more, is if you tell them. So please tell them. Anyways, and thank you all for watching, and this series is every weeknight at 9:30 p.m. So come back tomorrow night and Friday night and then Monday night and so on. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Good night.